the conclusion of that operation, they had paperwork and then they had the evidence.
Yes.
And they briefed you that these were handed over to the other team members. Who are these other team members?
I didn't ask because I know that they were working with other team members. But I know that in their recording, they recorded it. Because in her statement, when I said, Kesha, there's this thing that is coming. He said, no, man, don't worry, I recorded everything. Even where I handed it, I recorded. I said, no, I'm sorted, it's fine.
So at the time they briefed you, you didn't know who the other team members were?
Yes, when I came back, she was no longer there now.
Come again?
I'm saying when I came back, she was no longer.
No, I'm still on the day of the briefing. At that point,
the
you
briefing
didn't know who the...
No, the debriefing was telephonically.
Oh.
Yes, it was telephonically.
Okay. Then you just accepted that the paperwork and the evidence was given to these other team members that you don't know.
Yes, yes.
Who are the other team members?
I know.
This is your operation for EMPD, so you must surely know the team that you have involved in this operation. You've mentioned Stoltz and Mkhwanazi. You've mentioned those two. The briefing you get from Stoltz or Mkhwanazi that same afternoon of the operation is that the paperwork has been given to other team members. So you should be able to say who are the other team members that were involved.
You are correct, Chair. Remember, I don't know other juniors from other teams because I didn't have one briefing with them. I didn't meet them physically. I don't know them, Chair, because it's juniors that belong to other people. They are not in my command, you see.
So, but ought the paperwork and the evidence not have been then handed over to Deputy Chief Inspector Gerald Maseko?
No.
Who was the initiator of this entire operation?
No, Kesha wrote in her statement. She even wrote everything. You see, not in her statement. You see.
No, I'm asking you as Commissioner Mkhwanazi, you have a joint operation, you say, with Gauteng Traffic Department, and I think you mentioned another entity?
JMPD, yes.
JMPD.
Yes.
So, and you said, and I think to Commissioner Baloyi's question, you indicated that Deputy Chief Inspector Gerald Maseko was responsible, together with you, for the operation.
Yes.
You are briefed that same afternoon, and you know that there is paperwork, you know there is evidence, you have asked that we add, and paperwork and evidence. Was the paperwork and the evidence not, would that not properly have been handed over to yourself? And or Deputy Chief Inspector Maseko as the people who led this team?
No.
Is that not how it happens?
No, it will be the feedback, but the paperwork, when I was not there, it was not headed because I was not there when they finalized an operation.
I'm trying to understand how it happens in your environment. You are in charge, the paperwork and evidence is handed over, but it's not handed over to you.
Yes.
It's handed over to somebody and you don't get to know who that somebody is. Is that
No,
basically essence of how operations
No, they wrote in the statement, Commissioner. You see, I was not there physically. I attended some commitment or another meeting. I was not there with them, you see.
No, I'm more interested in the briefing. You got a briefing. You didn't inquire. I accept that, right?
And I've said it's a telephonic briefing. I called
even
a briefing, yes.
You had a voice over the telephone. You didn't inquire. Okay, now you say, you go further and you say, I was told that all other documentation were taken by Rivers Peace and Henny Erasmus when I was suspended. Just a clarification, all other documentation taken by Rivers Peace, is this the same paperwork that was handed to the other team members, or is it different document? I'm trying to see if I should differentiate between.
Yes, they said all their diaries for everything that they recorded, all the paperwork for other operation that we're having as a team, everything was taken from them. When they were suspended, they took everything. By that time, I was not there. They took everything. They were suspended after me, you see, for other duties and for other operations. Then they took everything. In fact, in their statement, in their affidavit, yes, they wrote everything, that it was this and that and that and that.
But just to make sure I understand, the documentation here taken by Rivers Peace and Henny Erasmus is not the same paperwork that was handed over to the other task team members. It's not about this particular operation.
But they could have recorded, they recorded all those things that are there. That's what they told me. They submitted, but on their side, they had information and everything there.
The passive voice here, as opposed to the active voice, confuses me. One is forced to just assume who you are referring to right at the end of the sentence, after closing brackets, after 2023, comma, then the same month they were arrested. You open with a passive voice, you got a briefing, and you also close with the passive voice. Now, I do not know who were arrested, but I assume it's a reference to Keisha Stores and Adrian Mackenzie.
It's 3 officers. It's
Yeah.
Keisha Stores, Adrian Mackenzie. I forgot the other name because he's a constable. But the 3 of them were arrested for Binoni case, something like that. Yes.
It's not that important, but it's just that the same month they were arrested. You say that after referring to Rivers Peace and Henny Erasmus, and I know you are not suggesting that it's those 2 people that were arrested.
No,
But as I say, grammatically, this is a bit confusing, especially because of the passive voice.
I know you always say that, Chair, humble apologies. You don't want to say the thing and what you want us to be specific, Chair.
Thank you.
That's what I've learned from you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mkhwanazi, can you just clarify the first paragraph on page 6? You say in the second line, second sentence, members confirm their whereabouts in Johannesburg, where we found them and communicated with Officer Mackenzie. So did you yourself go to the scene of this incident?
Yes, Chair, I called, they told me, let me listen to you first.
So
just
you
to
were
check
there?
it. Yes, I went there, I drove
Yes, and who did you find there?
Officer Mackenzie.
And the other teams that you are referring to, did
Where?
you see any other teams or just Mackenzie and
No,
Stolz?
somewhere inside. No, I didn't even see stalls. Somewhere
did you
inside.
see?
Mackenzie. I
And
communicate,
you
Mackenzie
only
came
saw
out.
Mackenzie?
Yes, Mackenzie came out.
So
and
you don't even
communicated.
know that JMPD was inside, and you don't know that the Joburg or Gauteng Traffic Department was inside, because you did not see them, you only saw Mackenzie.
Yes, I only saw Mackenzie.
So you don't know that there was another team other than the people you sent there.
No, in their statement, they mentioned that they were there.
Who was there?
The other team
Who-
members.
Who did they say was there?
Or they didn't specify in terms of the name.
No, I thought you said in their statement they said the other team was there.
No, I'm saying me, I don't know them. But they mentioned, when you check the statement that is submitted to the commission, that is submitted, I think they submitted to IP, they specified, they mentioned.
My understanding is that other than Mackenzie and Stolz, there was one other person there. Now that one person cannot constitute a team, according to my understanding of what a team is. So
Yes, correct.
if it was Mackenzie and Stolz and one other person, there couldn't have been other teams there because it's your team and one other person.
But Chair, in their statement, they mentioned that they were there, they handed over to them. I was not there. I can't say you are lying. You see, I can't say I can't take it.
And then when you
They will
say,
prove it, yes.
when you say where we found them there, who is we?
I've said I was driving with, one officer was driving me and from EMPT, and officer, and senior, or the deputy director.
Who is that was driving with you?
I will tell you his name. I will remember his name now.
But it was not somebody from JMPD
No, no,
or
no.
Gauteng Traffic
No.
Department?
It's a person who drives me sometimes.
It was your team member?
Yes, EMPT, yes.
Okay. Then where was Maseko and the other person who's in charge of the operation?
No, we
Did
drove.
you see him that day when you went to the
No,
address?
we drove in one car when we went there.
No.
Then,
I asked you who was in the car. You said it was your team member.
no, I've been saying it. It's just I've been saying it that when we arrived there, even in my statement, it says so. It was me, Masego, and the guy that was driving me.
In one car?
Yes, we were three. It was the three of us in one car. Yes, and it was an EMPD car. He drove us with the EMPD car.
Thank you, Commissioner. And on that score then, who did you say was the person responsible for JMPD in this operation? We know you were EMPD. Director Maseko was Gauteng Traffic Department. Who was responsible for JMPD?
I've said I didn't communicate with anyone from EMPD from my